Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys, I was muted. Okay, so anyway, listen. Hey, everybody. So we down here at courthouse. Okay, so now listen. I left out of there because, quite frankly, I've heard enough. The lady Mia is just lying. Okay, now last week, remember, she basically said, somebody said, yeah, she's lying. Okay, so basically last week, she said that she had to beg Diddy to let her go to her grandmother's funeral. Then today, Brian Steele called her out on it and said that, in fact, he showed the receipts that she had texted telling Diddy that her grandmother, or that she had already booked a flight, that she had booked a flight to go see her grandmother. Now, if you booked a flight and you're telling Diddy about it, that means you didn't have to ask him. That means you didn't beg. So why are you lying? Okay, this lady is sitting up here making up a whole bunch of stuff. Hold on, let me get my notes, honey, because this is all crazy. This is absolutely nefarious, okay? Hold on, you guys. Okay, so basically, he also asked her about when she left, did she try to come back? She said she came back, and then she was like, well, you know, not like how you're trying to frame it. And so Steele said, wouldn't you say that Diddy, isn't it true that Diddy put more money into Cassie's career than any other people at the label? And she was like, I really don't know. I don't know all that information. Now, I want you all to pay attention, because here's what's really going on. Every time Brian Steele asked her something, thank you for the cash app, for the super chat, beloved. I appreciate you. So listen, every time the judge, or every time Brian Steele was going in on her, the prosecution would continuously object, and the judge would sustain. Okay, he would sustain most of the time. Now, there were a few instances where he would overrule and let her go ahead and answer. Now, whenever he let her go ahead and answer, she would say things like, I don't remember. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm confused. I'm confused about the question. Once she did that, the judge say to Steele to go ahead and rephrase the question. So basically, it's just like a game of cat and mouse. Like, this lady seems to me like she's trying to tick Brian Steele off so that he goes in on her. I don't know what her point is, but she is clearly not telling the truth. Okay, and see, this is really ticking me off, because somebody like her could make Diddy get a mistrial or whatever. Okay, it's just all a hot mess. Hold on. Then they asked her about some documents they reviewed. Okay, they asked her about some documents that she wrote to Diddy, and she was sitting there talking about, I don't remember. Steele said, do you know? He said, let me refresh in your memory. Okay, and that's when he showed her the documents. And then she's sitting there looking crazy. And then, of course, the prosecution objected again. Steele says, you're not telling the jury that Miss Ventura was promoted more than anybody else, are you? And she's like, oh, you know, I don't remember. I didn't know about all those things. I mean, she had so many excuses. Then he asked her about Kim Porter. He asked her about Kim Porter and about her going to the funeral. Because mind you, Kim Porter died in 2018. So why are you going to the funeral, you know, to show support for Diddy, this man that you said raped you, this man you said beat you, this man you said locked you in a room, you had to ask if you could leave, he wouldn't allow you to, and all of these things that you said. Why are you going to a funeral for this person? At the end of the day, thank you for the super chat, beloved. I appreciate you. Okay, this is all so darn crazy. It's really annoying. And everybody in the courtroom was laughing, because at one point, Steele was getting so upset, you could tell that he was getting frustrated, because the judge kept sustaining all of the prosecution's objections, which were so ridiculous, because all he was doing was trying to make his point. Now, there was one thing where she had said that she didn't, when he asked her, why didn't you tell your family or your friends or anybody, law enforcement, why didn't you tell anybody that he did these things to you? Why did you stay there and you never said anything to anybody? And she's like, well, I never had time to. I never had time to be with my family. Everything was about Diddy. Then Brian Steele had a picture of her and her family and friends on a vacation. Now, when they went to a 10-minute recess, he wanted to show the picture, so he was talking to the judge. The judge called a sidebar and basically was telling him, you know, that what's the relevance of this? The picture's not relevant. What are you trying to prove by showing the picture? Well, he's trying to prove that she's a liar who lies. He's trying to prove that she said she didn't have time to be with family or friends, and she didn't have time to tell them, but the picture is showing that she was with family and friends on a whole vacation, and yet she never said anything. It's like so annoying. I don't understand what they're doing. Now, mind you, like I told you all before, y'all know I want Diddy to go to jail just as well as anybody. But the bottom line is this is not it. This lady's sitting here making up a whole bunch of stuff. Then he asked her about the Prince party. Okay, he asked her about the Prince party. He asked her about how her and Cassie, thank you, beloved, for the super chat. Please, love and blessings. He asked her about the time her and Cassie Now, this is when everybody was cracking up. He asked her about the time her and Cassie had to get in a paddle boat and row out to sea when it was a storm coming just so they could get away from Diddy at the Prince concert, right? And then he was like, but so you had to do all of this and basically like, why want to keep working for this man? You know, why did you stay there? She said, I was afraid to leave. I didn't think I could leave. But eventually you left and you wanted to come back. And she did come back, in fact. But like she said, it was not in the same capacity as he's trying to make it. It doesn't matter what capacity. And then he told her, and here's the thing that got me too. He asked her at one point, he was like, why would you, keep dealing with this guy? Why would you, somebody who said all these things and did all these things, you know what he was doing to Cassie, according to you, why would you continue to support him and post all these nice things, talking about you love him, how he has helped you? And she basically was like, well, because I didn't know those things about him. She said she didn't know. I didn't know those things. Brian still said, but you're the one who said that he raped you. So how do you not know? And of course, the prosecution objected. Honey, this is a circus, okay? Do y'all hear me? This is a whole circus. It really is crazy, okay? Excuse me, beloved. Can you come over here? This is another YouTuber I met. She is wonderful, honey. Y'all need to follow her too. But listen, tell them what you think about how she was sitting there telling all those darn lies.
Oh, hey, you guys. Hey, Mia, I believe Mia was like, yeah, I mean, she was lying through her teeth and the truth just is not in her. When she was testifying, she was like this. And I'm like, whenever you have your head down or like sunglasses on or something and you are up there testifying, you are like, and you're not looking at somebody, that means that you're telling a lie and the truth is just not in you. So I was tired of sitting in the courtroom listening to her lying because it was like so many lies saying that Diddy, she had to beg Diddy to go to her grandma's funeral when they presented a whole text message saying that her telling Diddy in the text message that I bought my plane ticket and I'm going to my grandma's funeral.
She didn't even ask.
She told him what she was gonna do. So, oh, look at the pretty butterfly, you guys.
I love butterflies, honey.
Oh, but yeah. So yeah, me and Queen were sitting, next to each other and collaborating and knowing that she was lying, and we were just done with it because I'm like, that. It like cuts that for a lot of the real victims, the real victims who have, these issues or whatever. Those are the type of people that cut it for them. And it's sad. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But y'all shout out, follow me on the lounge 8385. And yeah, keep giving super chats to your girl Queen. She's doing an awesome job here. We are boots on the ground.
That's right. Thank you, beloved.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so anyway, that is real crazy. I mean, telling all these darn lies. Let me tell y'all what's going to happen. I want y'all to pay attention because you heard it here first. I already told you guys that even if Diddy's convicted, there is absolutely going to be, they're going to file the appeal. And here's another thing too. The judge was not allowing them to put in some evidence, like the picture that Brian Steele wanted to show. And Brian Steele was trying to make a big deal out of it, as he should. But then the judge was like, well, what's the relevance of this? Why are you making this a big deal? And Brian said, in case there's an appeal. So I already told you guys that they're absolutely going to file this appeal, and they're going to put down all these prior bad acts that has been going on in the trial. They're also going to put down the stuff where the judge is constantly sustaining all of the prosecution's back-to-back objections. But here's the thing. When we returned after the lunch break, then when the defense starts basically, objecting, the judge kept saying overruled. It's just all so crazy. At the end of the day, honey, Diddy needs to go to prison. He absolutely does. But this is not going to help it because this is going to give him the door to get this whole thing overturned like Harvey Weinstein, like I told you guys. And here's the thing. We already know that Diddy has committed more than 2 of the predicate acts required, okay? Like I told you all weeks ago, at least 2 weeks ago, that he's already committed more than 2 of those predicate acts. So at the end of the day, I don't even know why the prosecution brought this lady up here. I mean, my thing is her testimony is not helping their case at all. The jurors are looking at her crazy. We're looking at her crazy. She's holding her head down like, well, and then she's trying to be sarcastic. Like when she sees the judge is on her side and he's sustaining all the objections, then she gets slick. She's getting slick in the mouth with Brian Steele. For example, he asked her something, and she was like, oh, maybe you should ask my privileged therapist. She said that because she knows darn well he cannot ask her therapist because that's privileged information. Okay, so that's what she was being flippant. And it's just like, it's a whole sideshow at the end of the day. But I'm telling you all, this is all real crazy. Now, they're saying that she's going to be testifying to the end of the day. The prosecution has asked could they stay longer, you know, so they can get this. What they're trying to do now is trying to do damage control, trying to clean up from all the lies that she has told. Okay, it's all so crazy. Hold on. Let me look at my notes again. Likes up, everybody. Please like and share. Thank you. And listen, you guys, I'm going to be here for the entirety of the trial. I'm going to be here until the trial is over with, okay? Just so you all know. Now, here's what she said when he asked her about Kim Porter. He was asking her, Brian Scale was asking her, was Ventura disappointed that Diddy spent time with other women? And that's when the prosecution objected. It's sustained by the judge. And the judge kept telling Brian Steele, rephrase. So he'd have to change the question and say it another way. And then she said, well, I'm not really sure. I'm not understanding, you know, the wording of it. Okay, so basically, Maya said that she only knew him. They asked her about some guy that was friends with Diddy or whatever. And she basically said she only saw him once on social media. And that she didn't know really if Cassie was jealous of Kim. Now, everybody knows Cassie was jealous of Kim. Cassie even said she was jealous of Kim. And another thing is, she's sitting there acting as though her and Cassie didn't already get together and discuss what both of them were going to testify to. Okay? At the end of the day, it's just really, really crazy. Okay? Paul Bunyan said, black people are going to set Diddy loose. Well, I'll tell you what's going to set him loose. People getting up there on the stand telling blatant lies. The jury sees that she's not being honest. She's looking down, you know, sitting there just moving her head from side to side. She's acting like she's slow or something. Now, I'm not trying to bash this woman because I don't know her in real life, but the bottom line is I do know that I know a lie when I hear one. If you say one thing and somebody brings receipts that you said the opposite, and then you sit there and say, well, I don't remember or I don't recall. I don't know what you're talking about. But girl, they have the text messages. They have the emails. Okay, she's just sitting here making up stuff and he goes. Hold on. And then here's the thing too, I forgot to tell you guys this. So they showed that picture. Remember last week when we heard about the picture where she supposedly was giving birth, when she said, I want to thank you for giving birth to my dreams, allowing me to give birth to my dreams, and her and Diddy were in the picture. I saw that picture today. Let me tell you something. This is not a picture that anyone who is traumatized should be taking. How did this picture not trigger her if Diddy is her rapist? In the picture, Diddy is dressed like Santa with boxers on. He's like Santa at the top and boxers on, holding his you-know-what. I mean, it's in the boxers, but I'm just saying. It's like he's gripping it, and she's standing there with her butt tooted out. You know, her butt sticking out to him and saying, thank you for helping me to give birth to my dreams. Who's doing all of this? And she was constantly telling Diddy that she loves him. Oh, you're the best person. You're not only brilliant, you not only revolutionized the game, but you revolutionized the world. This is what she was telling this man. Now, why are you saying all of this? She kept trying to say that, oh, I said this because I had to promote him, and I wanted him to not be mad. So I had to say things to keep him happy, because when he was happy, I was safe. And if he was, and when I did things, you know, I would get punished. So she tried to make that her excuse until Brian Steele comes up and says, well, wait a minute. What about this scrapbook you made? You made this. This was something you sent him privately. And then he says, and what about this? When you sent him this was after you had already left. You had been gone. Do you all know the last time she texted Diddy? The last time she texted this man, I believe it was in 2024. Hold on. I'm sorry, 2022. Yeah, the last time she sent him a message. She was still messaging Diddy in 2022. No, actually, hold on. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. I got a phone call. Sorry, guys. But yes, the last time she messaged Diddy was around December of 2022. Now, you've been gone from this man for years, but you're still reaching out to him. You're still texting him. Thank you for the super chat donation, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. Thanks for everybody sending super chats. I appreciate you, and cash apps. Thank you. But so the last time you talked to this man or messaged him was in 2022. She's telling him how much she loves him, how he's the greatest thing. He's so nice and all of this. And Diddy said something about, his response was sending you love and life. That's what Diddy said to her. You would think from reading the messages and emails that there was never accused this man of rape. They also asked her, if he did this to you, how come you didn't say anything about it when you talked to the prosecution? She literally met with the prosecution 27 times, according to Brian Steele. He said, didn't you meet with the prosecution like 27 times? She's like, it was multiple times. Why didn't you mention this then? Isn't it true that, in fact, you only brought this up when you saw in November of 2023 that Cassie got a settlement? Isn't that when you became a part of the Me Too money grab against Sean Diddy Combs? Honey, it was all a hot mess. When I tell y'all, this lady is making up some stuff. And then, quite a bit, don't know now. Yeah, she said it was quite a bit. She doesn't know the exact amount of how many times she met with them. Okay, then he showed her a document and then told her to read it to herself, right? So she's sitting there reading the document, trying to play dumb, acting like she don't know what it's all about. She doesn't remember. He asked her about the Met Gala and the VMAs. And he basically told her, because remember, she said that her and Cassie weren't allowed to go anywhere. That Diddy would keep them, basically hostage, keep them at the hotel or whatever, they weren't allowed to go. So when he started asking her about the Met Gala and the VMAs, and he said, wasn't it Mr. Combs who was promoting this the most? Hey, Lauren, how are you doing, beloved? Thank you. That's Lauren LaRosa. But so anyway, when he asked her about that, the prosecution objected. And then Mia said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you ask that question again? See, here's the thing. Here's the little trick that she's pulling. Every time the judge overrules something, then she says she doesn't know what you're talking about. Could you rephrase it? I'm confused by the wording. She plays dumb. But anytime it's sustained, she remembers. Okay? Because then she knows she doesn't really have to say too much. It's all a hot mess. Okay? I can't really see the comment that great because the sun is out here so bright. You guys, sorry about that. I'm going to do a whole full recap when I get home, but I wanted to come out here and let you all know what was going on before I leave the courthouse. And then he asked her, and here's another thing. Remember how last week she was talking about how she had done so much with Revolt, and that was her dream job? Thank you for the cash apps, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. Remember how she was saying that she had done so much work for Revolt and then Diddy shut it down and she, lost her dream? That's really what she's mad about, in my opinion. And I will tell you something else. When she said that Diddy raped her, I think that she was messing with Diddy because she wanted to behind Cassie's back. And I think that's why, now this is just my opinion, I think that's why she was getting upset when Diddy would say, oh, I'm going to tell Cassie. Because I think he was threatening to tell Cassie that they were messing around. Okay, that's what I really think. Because for her to keep saying that she loves this man, she never said one negative word about him. She never went in on him. She never told anybody about this man doing things to her. It was all peaches and cream, still sending him videos and texts and all of this stuff and gifts even after you're fired, even after she sued him. And I want you all to pay attention. Even after she sued this man, and she actually talked to him after Kim Porter died and all of that. And like I said, that was in 2018. So why are you still reaching out to this man in any capacity? Okay, it doesn't make any sense. Then they asked her, what did she exactly do for Revolt TV? So she says that she created a TV show that was sold to ABC. So then Steele asked her to name the show. And then she says it was a show about her and Diddy's life, about a small town person meeting up with somebody that's big time, basically. And then she said they partnered and co-produced it. And then she said they did a movie called Dope that we co-produced, and a movie called Lawless and Undefeated, and a documentary on our own. And Steele said your work with the company made money. You're saying that the work you did, for the company made the company make money. And she was saying yes. Okay, so basically, he said you had great relations with the people that you worked with. And then the prosecution objected and the judge overruled. So Mia said, yes, we were a family. Steele then says, you respected Diddy? You respected Diddy and you thought he was a genius and that he had insight into what was relevant to the community, right? Isn't that true? And she says, yes, back then. So then Steele says, here's a question, if you don't mind me asking. He said, how could any, hold on. Oh yeah, she said there was highs and there was lows. So Brian Steele said, here's a question, if you don't mind me asking. He said, but how could any high cover the low of him raping you, assaulting you? Okay, yeah, make that make sense. And she really didn't have a good answer. Then she says that was objected to by the prosecution. The judge sustained it. And then still said, didn't you say that you had a text about deleting yourself, like taking yourself out? And that was because you loved your job and you felt like you were losing the work that you loved. And she said, I wanted to keep living my life, my dreams. Okay, beloved. Okay. So then still said, no one forced you to work there. Honey, somebody's out here with I don't know if that's the ambulance. Yeah, that's an ambulance. Okay, so then he says, no one forced you to work. And then she says, I don't understand. And then they objected again, and the judge basically overruled it. Then she says, I'm confused by the wording. The judge says, please rephrase or make it more clear. How more clear does he need to make it? Then still says, you made the decision to continue to work there. Okay, you continued to work while you were there, right? And she says, I didn't think I had a choice. Like, girl, you didn't think you had a choice to quit? And then to add insult to injury, if you didn't think you had a choice to quit, let me try to move over here and get out of so much of the sun. If you didn't think you had a choice to quit, ma'am, why did you come back? Why did you want to come back? You know what I'm saying, honey? This is all crazy. But anyway, listen, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Like I said, I'll do a full recap when I get back to the house. It's probably going to be sometime later today. I just wanted to shout out to everybody. Thank you all for the super chats and for the Cash App donations. I love you all to life. Okay, it is so much sun out here and it's hot, honey. I'm starting to sweat, honey. Y'all know they say sugar melts. Please pay attention. With that all being said, listen, keep your notifications on, okay? I'm going to go back inside and see what's being said for the last few minutes of this, but I will definitely be doing a full recap later, okay? And thanks to everybody. I really love and appreciate you guys. Like I said, I'm going to be her boots on the ground until this whole thing is over. We don't know when it's over, but if it keeps going like this, Diddy might even get a mistrial. Because even the jury is looking at this woman crazy. All right. So anyway, love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.